Well, it's that time of the week again where we get to talk about the brand new VR games that came out this week, the new games that are coming next week, and of course some of that juicy VR gaming news. But before we dive into that, I want to say a massive shout out and a thank you to you guys for supporting this series. Honestly, your continued support by smashing like, sharing these videos has just made a huge difference to this series, and it's why I continue to do it, because honestly, it's really fun to make, and you guys supporting it just means the absolute world to me. So continue to do that. Much love to each and every one of you, and now let's dive into the new games that came out this week. Well, it's been a bit of a quiet week this week, guys. We've only really had the one release, which is Tank Arena Ultimate League, and unfortunately, I'm here to tell you, kind of save your money. It's not the best game I've ever played by a long shot, and really, it's just unfortunately kind of bad. Now, I jumped into this to experience it because with these types of games, sometimes you can get in there and it can be an absolute banger, like a bit of a sort of a secret agent game. You know, you're going to get in there and you realize actually this thing's a bit of a sleeper and it's actually a really dope game. But no, unfortunately, this one, the mechanics kind of a bit mid, and honestly, there was like a ton of bugs in this when I tried it as well. So really not one that I would put on the list to even try with the refund. You know, this is just one I would say probably just kind of leave it. VR gaming news. Well, this is where things get a little bit more spicy as we talk about the VR gaming news, because this week there has been an abundance of it. We also found out now that Taskmaster VR is going to be coming our way next month. Now, this is a very weird one because I don't entirely know who the target audience is for this game, as this is a British TV show, so I'd be really interested to know that any of my sort of people in the States or anywhere else in the world, whether you even know what Taskmaster is, and is this something you're particularly excited for. The feedback from this is going to be really interesting for me because, like I say, this is a British thing and I'm not sure if it spreads across other countries or not. It just seems like a really odd one to make a VR game out of, but I'm still interested to see it nonetheless. Now, of course, this is interesting because it's just going to be a bunch of random stuff that you're going to get up to in this game, as the TV show is sort of, you know, implies that it is about doing different tasks and, you know, being funny along the way. And one of sort of Britain's top comedians is going to be narrating across the video as well, just like they do within the TV series. So I'm intrigued by this one, but I'm more intrigued to find out whether any of you guys even know what Taskmaster is. Next up, Aspire 1 has just dropped a brand new update as well, which is a free DLC. Pretty decent. In the new Sydney Stakeout mission pack, you're going to get 2 new environments that you can go and explore, 10 new virtual missions, and a new enemy class, the Quick Shotgunner. Now, I've got to say, it's a bit of a random move for them to be dropping DLC for the first game when they have a second game out, but nonetheless, I'm pretty intrigued to try it out for myself. And honestly, if you have time, then the Aspire 2 MR missions are freaking top notch. If you own a Quest 3, I highly recommend to check them out. But until then, jump back into Aspire 1, I guess. We've just got a dope DLC drop for Power Wash Simulator. Yeah, it's definitely a freaking dope one because this is the Back to the Future one. This is kind of the one I've been waiting to experience in virtual reality because you get to clean things like the DeLorean, you get to go to the clock tower, a bunch of iconic places, and of course even the time machine train. So I'm freaking excited for this one. I have played it in flat because I really love this game in flat, and well, now I'm going to have to jump back into the virtual reality game because I really want to clean the DeLorean. I think it's going to be an absolute freaking blast. Now, I know this is one of those games that's very polar opposite. Some people love it, some people just cannot understand why you'd want to clean things in virtual reality, and I kind of get you guys, but it is mildly addictive once you jump in there, and honestly, this DLC is probably the one that's got me the most excited. Firmament is coming to the PSVR 2. This is a game that dropped on PCVR a little while back, and it is a freaking stunning game. It doesn't have the best implementation of VR that I've ever seen, but nonetheless, it still is a very stunning experience. Now, this is a game that comes off the back of like Myst and stuff, I believe. It's a very strong puzzle game, and when I say strong puzzle game, I mean like you need to be a highly intelligent individual to get through some of these puzzles, but nonetheless, it's a pretty cool game and a good example of just truly gorgeous VR games. So I highly recommend that you check this one out. I will talk about it once it comes out because I think this is again one of those situations where on PlayStation I never want to tell people just give it a go because you just can't get a refund. Next up, Population 1 has just dropped a brand new update as well. I don't know if this is like a knee-jerk reaction to sort of Contractor Showdown being incredibly popular the way that it has been, but nonetheless, they have just dropped a brand new update to Population 1. This is the new Phoenix Royale mode, introducing a new full-size map and a new moving end zone. This includes redeploying if you are taken down, while supply crates fill you up with weapons, health items, and scattered across the map just to keep it a little bit interesting. So they're kind of changing up kind of the dynamic of the entire game, which I think is pretty exciting. I myself are going to have to jump back into this and experience it just to see if it's worth all the hype. This is going to be coming pretty darn soon, so keep your eyes peeled on the new Phoenix Royale mode that's coming to Population 1. Coming next week. Well, next week we have MudRunner VR coming, and this is actually one I'm pretty excited for. In the trailers and stuff, it looked pretty damn good, so I'm pretty intrigued to try this out for myself. Once I've actually dived in there and had a go, I think this is going to be something that I'm probably going to be addicted to, but again, it really depends. This is one of those things that's either going to be absolutely incredible, top notch, or mid. So let's hope for the top-notch version of this story to be told next week. Fingers crossed. And yeah, if it's good, then it's going to be good. This definitely looks like one of those very intriguing games that kind of has a lot to it and is definitely very ambitious to be in VR. So I'm excited to try this one out for myself. The Exorcist Legion VR. This is actually a pretty dope game that came out a while back, is making its way to PSVR 2. Now, honestly, this is a pretty cool game. If you like pooping your pants, then this one is going to do it for you. Also, I think there's rumors running around that there's going to be a new Exorcist game coming out at some point as well, so there's something to that. Maybe they're like one last little spin before we get into the new game. Now, I can't talk with experience because, quite honestly, I don't play horror games. They scare the bejeebus out of me, and I'm just not in for like heart failure at the grand old age that I'm at. So I'm just going to say nope for me. But if you guys want to experience this for yourself, well, I'm sure all of us are, know what Exorcist is by this point. And this game, it definitely doesn't hold back anything from the jump scares. You will probably poop your pants. Well, that's pretty much going to do us for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, smash like. I really do appreciate it. It does help these videos get seen a lot more. And of course, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because I get to do a load of cool stuff on this channel with all the top 10 lists. We're also going to have some game coverage coming back once, some really good games come out. Would be nice. And for now, we'll be doing the Friday videos on the regular, as always, because, well, I love doing these videos. Other than that, guys, have a great weekend. Let me know what you're going to be playing this weekend in the comments down below, as I'm always interested to find out what you're playing. Other than that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Bye.